Alright everyone, let's get right into the figure because I have to be honest, I'm not really loving it that much. So, Hawkeye was my favorite version in Civil War, and one part of his look was the goatee. It's really, really faint. Like, they did do it, but it's really faint. So, this head looks a lot like the Age of Ultron version, which I had and sold. Um, so, there's not really much of an upgrade there. My other issue with the figure is that the shape of the body is just not good. I'm trying to show you the slope of his shoulders. So he's got no shoulders. It just goes down. And you have a little curve here, but that's not how a human body looks, and I really like these for how realistic they are. Um, it's not doing him any favors. On top of that, there's no joint for the shoulder that separates the arm, which some people may be happy about, no joint, but it means that when you move the arm, the bicep doesn't move with it. So it looks, you can't turn that down. It looks weird. It looks pretty weird. Okay, and then so the other side, which is covered, is the same way, which is unfortunate. Obviously, they weren't going to do two different arms, but oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not the same. This one rotates. That's way better. That is 100 times better. But the shoulder size is still small. That's a minor gripe. I think what makes these so realistic, aside from the head sculpt, is the shape of the body. Because if you have something that doesn't look right, your eye can see it, and it's just not, it just doesn't look good on a shelf. Because Hot Toys has put out other figures that do look realistic, and so this one, it's not quite doing it for me. I think in the movie, his colors were darker, especially the blue. I felt like it was darker. Here you have clear blue, clear purple, and clear black. The reason I traded up for this one, because I actually prefer the design of the Age of Ultron, but I have a shield shelf of Nick Fury, Coulson, Maria Hill, and I wanted something that aesthetically matched with them. So this one does do that, and that's why I have him, and that's why I'll keep him, because he does look like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with this outfit on. So the other problem I had was this. I don't know, like the Age of Ultron one opened up in the middle, and you could just stick the arrows in. This one, not so much. So you have to jam it through. There are little clips here, and then clips at the bottom. I'm not really sure, like they're movable inside. I'm not really sure why or what we're supposed to do with these. The other thing is this clip here moves up and down. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's so that there's not pressure on it, so it doesn't break as easy. And I can't show you right now, but I actually put it on this way first, and it was a huge pain to get it back off. That was a mistake. The other side has clips on it that allow you to trap it within the space like this, but that's why it just slides a little bit. Honestly, maybe I'm an idiot, but the manual was really unclear about how to do it. Really unclear about how to put the arrows in. As you can see, I didn't even get all of them in there at the appropriate length. It says to put them in some different order or like height spacing. I don't know how you're supposed to do that and not have them meet down here. I don't know what the manual wanted from me. So, you know, I'm not an expert. I'm just the guy who buys this stuff. So, yeah, so I took one out because I put the Ant-Man head on it, or the Ant-Man arrow. Come on. Can you focus? Okay. So some of you are probably buying this figure specifically for that. I know it was a big selling point for me. But, okay, so this is cool. I mean, he's a little bit big. If it was accurate to the film, you wouldn't see him at all. But, works for me. The other thing is, though, he's kind of a boring figure to pose. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel, but I'm going to pose him with the staff. I just have him with that thing because I know most people want to see that, but the staff, it makes him a little more dynamic for posing, even though the arms are really just meant to pull the bow back. So pull the string back. This is cooler in my opinion because you can have them like move in different ways. If you try to go the bow and arrow route, you can only do like, I had my Age of Ultron pulling his arm, pulling an arrow out from the thing, and then from the quiver, and then the other thing you can do is like point it, but I don't have too much room on my shelves these days, so he's not going to be pointing the arrow. I don't know. You know, he was cool in the movie, but yeah, he's a little bit of a boring figure for me. He's got the pistol this time. Pretty light, you know, not one of those heavy pistols that Hot Toys has put out. It's a light pistol. I believe this moves. Yeah, that's pretty common for this stuff to move now. The clip. There to go. Yeah. Okay, so the clip comes out. Not that I'll ever do that. I don't know who would pose him with the gun, but whatever. Okay. Besides that, one thing that a lot of people have mentioned are the free ankles, which are cool, very nice. These shin guards remind me of, well, I guess they're just the other side of his boots, but they remind me of the Stealth Cap version, and I guess the Civil War version has them too. So he comes with this knife and this holster for the knife. So you slide it up. The knife is terribly loose. Terribly loose. So it'll probably fall out. If you're like me and you move them around, I'll try to jam it in. That's what she said. Yeah, so there you go. That's not very, you know. Now he does have a hand to hold it with, so let's go over the hands real quick. So I've got a relaxed hand for the glove side, a fist for what I assume is the knife, and then for the other hand, so he's got one that pulls back. But see, the one that he's holding is also the pullback, and the finger grip is tighter. You can see that there's a space there. So that's not for an arrow, because the arrow won't sit tight in there. I don't know if that's an accident or if I'm supposed to be using this one for something else. But the one he's holding you could stick the end of the arrow in there. Here's another one that looks relaxed, but you could stick an arrow in there, but it's not really meant for that. And then here's the pistol hand. I don't remember him pulling the pistol in the movie. I can't remember. He does come with glasses. He doesn't wear them in the movie, from what I can remember. And Hot Toy says don't put them on for too long or they might stain. So why put them on at all? But there you go. Looking at, he's got a whole bunch of arrow tips here. There's a grapple one. I took the Ant-Man one out. He's got some blue gel ones. I'm assuming those are the explosive ones. He's got like some drills. I mean, they're cool looking, but he can only really hold one at a time, and the rest have to stay in the quiver. So I'm glad Hot Toys puts in the effort. I'm not going to use it. The base is pretty cool. Blue. My Captain America Civil War one is also blue. Black Widow just got released, so I'll have her soon enough. But let me pose him next to someone so you can get an idea of the size. Alright, so there's Hawkeye and there's Cap. Cap is not on the same base, so he looks a little taller, plus his knees are bent, but so he's bigger. Cap is bigger. That's a beautiful shield, by the way. If anyone is on the fence about replacing that shield, that is the best shield they've ever made. Black Widow, they're on the same base, sort of. She's standing straight-legged. He is bent-legged a little bit. So, yeah, I'll make another video for the Black Widow. I was thinking of just putting the Civil War head on her and selling the rest, but we'll see. And now I think I'll just put him in a few poses, and then that'll be it. So there he is pulling the arrow on Ant-Man. I mean, this is the money shot, right? This is why you bought the figure, I'm assuming. Let's take the glasses off. Screen accurate, right? Ugh. So much for that. Alright, so now you can see how annoying it is to keep this in here. Again, I might be using the right hands, but I couldn't get the other hand to hold the arrow right. So, jam it in there. I'm doing it like this because it's just one-handed. There it is. Sorry, it's a foggy day and the light's just not that good this time. So, I mean, that's Hawkeye. You want to put him on the shelf like that? I totally understand. And you can see how the arm bends. So that's the bicep totally facing upwards. Again, you know, it looks weird to me. It looks weird to me. Maybe it doesn't to you, and if it doesn't, great. Also, the arrow is kind of hard. So, if you lower it to try and straighten it, it's just, maybe it's just this arrow, but it's loose. And it doesn't sit right. I know I'm doing that one-handed, but so that's good. And then, you know, that's about as far back as you can pull the arm. And I know some people like to do the pose where he's pulling the arrow, he's pointing it downwards and pulling up on the string upwards. That'll save you some space on the shelf. But yeah, it's a great figure, but if you're like me, you probably can't stop looking at that one. But okay, so see you guys at the Black Widow one sometime this week.